Hi guys, Artiar here. So for this video is how should you build your Zihe Esper guide. So this Esper video here, I will be going through her kit again. I'll go through what is the final conclusion about her kit, and then the equipment she's able to go, stats and resonance. Then in the end of the video, I'll show my own Zihe equipment in PvP and also in PvE content because I'm using her in both of the content as well. So she's a Shimmer controller Esper that have a HP plus 40% buff, leader buff that only usable in PvP content such as point war, knockout and beat bout. Then simplified skill kit, so S1 here basically attack one enemy, and if Zihe have stone steady buff, then will perform another pursuit attack that will inflict petrification, which means if Zihe doesn't have stone steady, then she can only normally cast one S1 damage but doesn't apply petrification. She can only apply petrification when she has stone steady. Then stone wall is her passive, then she's immune to petrification, and when a teammate get hits during special turns, then it will share 70% of their damage taken. So special turns is like as long as the damage is not active before they take their action, their own turn, then everything is considered as special turn, such as pursuit attack, assist attack, counter attack, Wuyu's breakdance, Moroyama's passive attack, as long as the damage is triggered outside of their own turn, is considered as special turn. Okay, S3, attack all enemies, will inflict petrification for 2 turns, and most importantly, enemy damage will reduce by 10% and damage taken will increase by 10% up to 50%. Every cast will increase 10% and it can up to 50%. So if you cast it 5 times for your S3, you can reduce their damage output by 50% and increase their damage taken by 50%. So you want her to cast as many S3 as possible in any kind of content. Passive. Every time before an ally inflict petrification, any ally will consume, including herself and including her ally, such as Chuyao's R4 effect, such as Tricky, such as other Esper that can apply petrification. Then the enemy will reduce their defense by 2% up to 50%, which means you have to trigger this for 25 times for the maximum potential. Then it also, but this effect here only takes effect in PvP content. This defense reduce thing only affect in PvP content, but this damage reduce and damage taken increase affects in PvE content as well. This is universal, this is PvP content only. Then upon successful infliction, if you're successful to apply petrification to the enemy, will do extra true damage to the enemy as well. Okay, Stone Steady is a buff only for Zihe. It cannot be dispelled. It will increase her accuracy by 40% and heals all ally upon taking hits. This heal here is based on per hit. So let's say Esper that deals 3 hit, then it will proc 3 heal. If Esper deals 5 hit, then it will proc 5 heal. So as long as there's hit on Zihe, then Zihe will heal everyone. But this heal condition here is when she only has Stone Steady. So how she gets Stone Steady, there's 2 conditions. It's either special turn or either active turn. So if Zihe takes lethal damage during special turn, she'll disable all her debuff, recover to max HP, and then cast a free S3. No matter your S3 is on cooldown or not, it will cast a S3 and then it will trigger once per turn, then she will get Stone Steady. Which means if she don't have Stone Steady before, and she died at special turn, she will recover everything back to max, basically a newborn, and then cast S3 for free, then she'll get Stone Steady. Then after that, every time she get hit, then it will heal everyone. This is for special turn condition. Then for active turn condition is when she dies, when she takes a little damage during her own turn, which is it's actually called special active turn. It's not her own turn, it's active turn. She doesn't, and if she doesn't have Stone Steady, then we'll do everything the same as the special turn one, then get Stone Steady. But after that, if she has Stone Steady and if she get killed at her at active turn, then she's not able to recover, because this recover condition is if she doesn't have Stone Steady. So if she already has Stone Steady, either getting from special turn or either getting from active turn, and he get a lethal damage during an active turn now, then she will die. This is basically how she's gonna die. It's not her own wording her own turn here is actually called active turn. I think it's their wording problem, but after I tested, it's basically she can only die during an active turn. It's either from your enemy active turn or either from her own turn. Let's say she get reflection damage, or she get poison damage or blood damage when they take their action, then it will still consider the damage, kill it. And then if she already has stone steady, then she's not able to recover her HP to max, because she can only recover her HP to max is at special turn. Okay, then for equipment suggestion, my own equipment suggestion I will go for this is PvP focus, this is PvE focus. So PvP focus, you can either go for Thunder set or Frost set or Harmony set. So Thunder set is if you want to make your Zihe as a DPS nuke, like since she can as long as she dies at special turn, she can cast S3 for free, which means she can keep spamming S3 for free, doing more damage taken increase, reducing their damage output, and then you are able to nuke them. I tested my own Zihe at Thunder set as well. It's doing decently damage. I won't say it's doing a massive damage because I didn't summon for Zihe's Divinate, so my Zihe's stats is actually not that high. But I did make a video about Zihe DPS video. You can go check it out if you are interested. So Zihe can actually make her DPS. She deals a pretty decent damage and is very annoying. So cause she die easily if you make her as a DPS. As long as she don't die at active turn, she always die at special turn, then she can keep casting S3 for free. She can be a DPS nuke. But if you don't want to go for DPS road, you can go for Frost set or Harmony set. So Frost set is she can be a very tanky, annoying DPS sponge because she can only die at active turn. So which means your Esper, you want to kill them. So let's say you're using Moriyama. You want your Moriyama S3 to target on Zihe. And what if your S3 doesn't able to kill Zihe and Zihe actually able to land a freeze on your Moriyama? So it's going to be very annoying because you can only kill her at the active turn. And then Stone Steady also increase her accuracy, so it's pretty easy to land the Frost set effect to the enemy. It's going to be an annoying one. Or you want her to be a support damage sponge that does that gives your team extra damage booster. So Harmony set will be the goal because the S3 that you cast from triggering the special turn here, not just attack all enemy, not just this effect here, will also trigger the Harmony set effect. So it's a pretty good passive damage output increase if you build her with Harmony set, but this is more towards into PvP. But for PvE, I would recommend you to go for Ocean Wave or Astro set. So cause in PvE usually that I'll recommend using Zihe is either you are at APEC, that you don't have a solid APEC team yet. Zihe will be a pretty good choice for you to damage sponge for APEC, but mainly usage for Zihe will be in shadow bosses. And if shadow bosses, you might want to go for Ocean Wave or Astro set. But in my own opinion, I would say Ocean Wave will be the best set for Zihe in PvE because you want her to keep getting Ocean Wave cooldown reduction to spam as many S3 as soon as possible. Because the more earlier you max out the 50% damage taken, the more DPS output you deal with your shadow bosses DPS. Like let's say if you're putting in a shadow fire boss, let's say your main DPS is going to be like say Valeria or Slon. If you can put this 50% as soon as possible, then all the damage output is going to be increased by a massive amount of damage. Okay, so I would say Ocean Wave will be the best set for her to cast more S3 for perma damage taken boost. But Astro set is also a good substitute equipment. So let's say if you feel like your team here, let's say have like Sachiko and the other Esper that can keep CD reduction already, and you think it's enough, then you want her to get extra bonus turn to keep casting more S1 to trigger and your allies relief set. Then Astro set will be a decent set as well. But personally, I would suggest more about Ocean Wave because I like the S3 spam as soon as possible. Then the 2-piece set here, I would recommend you either go for Growth, Avatara, Hold Fast, Shield or Fairy. Either will works. Just depends if you want to build her DPS or if you want her to build tanky. So let's say you're going for Thunder set, you can either go for Hold Fast with Fairy with tanky as well. If you want to go for tanky set, you can go for Growth set or Hold Fast also. Avatara, you can build her either DPS or either tanky set will also work because Avatara just help you trigger. So let's say if you have already Stone Steady and she get hit, right? then she will also heal everyone and also have a chance to cast Avatara. Then this Avatara here will also petrification the enemy. So it's going to be a very annoying set as well. So I would say that any 2P set will also work, just depends on what kind of road you want her to be. It's either DPS or either tank road. So let's say if you're going for tank, then obviously you're not going for fairy set, right? But tank set, this 4 can go. If you're going for tanky set, DPS set, shield set can also use, Avatara set also can use, fairy set also can use, then maybe not growth and hold fast. So really depends on what kind of equipment you're going for. Then for the stats to focus, so if you're going for DPS road, I will recommend you, obviously crit rate and crit damage is the most important one, then HP because she scales with HP, and then defense accuracy, just increase her tankiness and also land accuracy for the petrification. I will not recommend speed at all. And if you're building her as a support in DPS, so let's say you're going for a harmony set or frost set, HP is the most important thing because you want her to can tank as many damage as possible and you don't want her to die at active turn. So HP defense is very important to increase her tankiness, and some accuracy is good just because she can land petrification. And then if you're going for frost set, the frozen effect is also coming handy. And even though the stone steady here increased the accuracy by 40%, it's not going to be enough because you want to be at least like 80% to make it more consistent. Okay, but even though I say speed is not needed, but if you are using her in PvE, speed is needed. So let's say if you're using in Ocean Wave and Astro set for PvE, you don't want her to be slow. You want her to be as fast as possible to keep rotating her S3 as soon as possible. But in PvP, she doesn't need speed because she's just there for the damage sponge. You can just passively absorb the damage and cast the S3 through the special turn effect. So in PvE, she doesn't need speed, but in PvE, speed is needed. So it really depends on what content you use and what kind of route you're going for, right? So resonance wise, R2 damage taken reduce while in active turn, so basically increase her survivability in active turns. As I mentioned, she can only die in active turn. Then R4 damage share increased to 90%, so originally you can only damage share 70%. It makes your Zihe able to absorb more damage from for your enemy and let her die easier in special turns, so she can cast more S3 for free. Then for R6 effect, when you cast S3, you spam one more S3 again. So this R6 here will increase your S3 usage a lot more often, so it double up the speed even though in PvE and PvP as well. Let's say PvE you cast S3, then for us it's going to be 10%, for the R6 player it's going to be 20%. It increase the speed a lot more faster. So maybe when you're at R6, maybe you can no longer need to go Ocean Wave, you can go for Astro set. But in majority cases, I think most of the player in our, at least at server 2, from my observation, no one have R6 to her yet. Other server I saw they have some R6 already, but majority cases you won't be using this. So value wise, I would say R0 is all you need to be a usable to her, because in PvE and PvP content, you don't really need the reso effect for majority of the cases. But R2 in PvP it will be better for the tankiness. R4 will be better for PvP as well, to increase more damage sponge. Then R6 will be usable for PvE and PvP. But the overall value for majority of the player, I would say R0 is all you need to make her to be good and valuable. Okay, so for my Zihe PvP set here, I'm going for Thunder set and Shield set. So Shield set is to increase her tankiness at active turn or passive turn as well. Basically, because I'm going for DPS route, I'm not getting her Divinate, I'm not getting her Reso, all those stuff. So Shield set is a very good set to increase her tankiness because damage taken reduce. And then if there's a not Shimmer Esper, it will also further reduce the damage taken, so increase her tankiness by a lot while I'm making her DPS. So you can see my shield set here, I'm going for crit rate, crit damage, all these kind of stats that is more towards into DPS. I'm making her 90%, 100% crit rate, high crit damage, and then decent high HP as well. Overall, I'm building my Zihe and DPS. I'm trying out to make my because I will trigger my Zihe S3 pretty often. in PvP. So I hope she can actually deal some DPS to the enemy as well, instead of just making her a damage sponge. So this is the equipment I'm going for PvP, and not to mention that in the current patch here, we have the Hex buff. So the Hex buff here will also increase our damage output as well. So let's say my defense formation, this is my defense team, right? So Gold Ray here, our HP is increased, which means HP increase will benefit to Zihe's damage output. And then damage taken increase will make our Zihe die easily. So if Zihe die easily in special turns, she can cast more S3. More S3 means more damage output. And then when dealing damage, damage also increase based on the difference in max HP, which means the more max HP I have, the more damage I'm gonna deal. So that's the reason, one of the reasons why I'm running Zihe DPS. Maybe after the point war Hex buff is gone, maybe I will make her into a damage sponge, but at least for now, I feel like a DPS Zihe is pretty fun to play at the moment. Alright, then the next one I'm going to show is in the Dislyte land. So let's say in Shadowfire, right? My Shadowfire team is this one. Okay, then let's say my main DPS is Slon, and then Champion here is a buffer, Lushang here is a as a support, Ira here as a support, Liam here is a support for Slon. Basically, everything is about Slon. Then my Zihe here is going for Ocean Wave, and I just build as fast as possible. Like this 2-piece set doesn't really matter, because I just trying to build her as fast as possible. Everything here is +4. And one set is +3, yeah. My headphone here is +3. So I'm making her very fast Ocean Wave set just to make her keep taking her turn as soon as possible and keep spamming her S3. I maxed out her S3 here to make her reduce to 4 turn, so she can cast her S3 as soon as possible, and the more S3 she casts, the more damage taken applied to the boss. This is very impactful, and I believe everyone in the leaderboard here is also going for Ocean Wave Zihe. Like here we have a Ocean Wave Zihe as well. Then this one here, Ocean Wave Zihe. Like everyone wants their Zihe to spam as many as S3 from Zihe. Like let's say here, Ocean Wave Zihe, right? Basically in PvE, everyone is running for Ocean Wave Zihe. Just make her as fast as possible will do. The other stats doesn't really matter. Okay, basically that's it for this video. Hope this video actually helped you guys out who have already gotten Zihe and still figuring out a way to build her equipment. Because she's pretty universal. She can build in a lot kind of form. Just depends on what kind of position you want your Zihe to be. Either DPS or either be a damage sponge. Okay, hope this video actually helped you guys out, and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. Special thanks for the direct support on the YouTube membership. So for the benefactor of Artiar, which is Yaki Shibatils Kemi, thank you so much for your support. And for the supporter and patron of Artiar, which is Louis Schneider, Agni, Code Wardeners, Wang Tamer, Ziggy, Kamaruki, Sunwatts, Rimu, Shawnee, Von Hexa, Antonio Winterspoon, Marlene Williams, Uncle Chat, Eric Mendes, Im Craigrin, Riku, Fred X Iris, Calamity, Jordan Elons, Rocco Standions, thank you so much for your support. And that's not all. Also special thanks for the direct support on the live stream super chat for the latest tag. So special thanks to Ziggy, Calamity, Agni, Love Fatima, Fatima Little Underwear, Bloods, Riku Fred, Johnny. Thank you so much for your support. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.